All right, so you want to know how to nail a product marketing manager interview. Well, you've come to the right place because today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that.
Whether you're prepping for an interview or just curious about the role, we're going to give you some real insights.
Product marketing manager, for those who don't know, is that critical link between creating awesome products and getting people excited to use them.
They're the bridge between the product team and the market, and they're responsible for making sure a product doesn't just exist, but actually thrives.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we're going to be looking at some actual interview questions from Workable, a company that helps businesses find their perfect hires.
It's kind of like getting a sneak peek into the minds of those hiring for this role.
And hopefully you'll walk away with a solid understanding of what companies are really looking for in a product marketing manager.
And maybe even some aha moments for your own career.
So the source material breaks down the interview process into three main categories of questions: operational and situational, role-specific, and behavioral. Let's start with that first one, operational and situational.
So operational and situational questions, those are all about seeing how you'd handle those real-world scenarios that pop up all the time in this field.
Right, like a sudden competitor enters the market or maybe a product launch gets delayed.
Yeah, stuff happens, and recruiters want to see if you can think on your feet, adapt to change, and make strategic decisions under pressure.
So for example, the source gives a couple of really interesting questions.
Like what?
Well, one is, imagine you're launching a new feature for a product. Which advertising channels would you choose and why?
Ah, that's a good one.
Right.
Yeah, because it makes you think critically about who you're trying to reach, what the product's all about, and the pros and cons of different marketing
It's
channels.
not just about saying, oh, I'd use social media. It's about explaining why certain channels would be the most effective for that particular feature and that specific audience.
It really shows that you understand marketing strategy on a deeper level.
Hmm. And then another one that I thought was really interesting was, what's a great product out there that you think has terrible marketing, and how would you market it differently?
Ooh, I like that one.
I know, right?
Yeah, it makes you think.
I find myself thinking about that a lot, actually, like when I'm online or even just at the store.
Yeah.
You see so many products that could be amazing, but just have really bad marketing.
It's true.
It's a clever question
Yeah.
because it shows your ability to analyze existing marketing campaigns to figure out where they're falling short.
And then come up with better solutions.
Exactly. Plus, it shows that you're paying attention to what's happening in the market, even outside of your own little bubble.
Which is definitely something you want to show in an interview.
Right.
Yeah, it shows that you're engaged and that you're thinking about these things.
Hmm. Now, it's important to remember with these operational questions, there's not always one right answer.
No, it's more about how you think.
Yeah, like even if your answer isn't what the interviewer had in mind, if you can clearly explain your reasoning and how you got there.
It shows that you can think critically and articulate your ideas.
And those are valuable skills in any job, really.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to the second category, role-specific questions.
Right.
And these questions, they really dive into the core skills and knowledge that are essential for a product marketing manager.
So things like understanding the customer journey, knowing your marketing tools.
And how to measure success.
Exactly.
So the source gives this one example that really highlights how collaborative the role is. And it says, how do you turn a marketing lead into a sales opportunity? And what information do you share with the sales team?
Ah, that's a great one because it really gets at how marketing and sales have to work together.
Right.
It's not just about generating leads, it's about nurturing those leads and making sure the sales team has what they need to close the deal.
It shows that you understand the bigger picture, that the customer journey doesn't just stop with a lead.
It's a whole process.
And the source also mentions the question, what does successful product onboarding look like?
Oh, onboarding.
Yeah, which I find fascinating because a smooth onboarding experience can really make or break a customer's perception of a product.
Absolutely. If it's done well, onboarding can create loyal customers who'll stick around for a long time.
It's all about guiding users through those initial steps, making sure they see the value,
And making sure they have a good first impression.
and that can be a real challenge.
It is.
As a product marketing manager, you have to be able to create that seamless experience, working with so many different teams.
Product development, design, customer support, everyone.
It's a multifaceted challenge for sure. And, I think sometimes people forget that a product marketing manager isn't just about getting new customers.
Yeah.
It's also about keeping the ones you already have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Customer retention is huge.
You got to build those relationships, turn those one-time buyers into loyal fans.
Turn them into advocates even, people who will tell their friends about the product.
Which brings us to the third category of interview questions, behavioral questions.
Okay.
These are all about understanding how you've actually handled situations in the past, what you've learned, how you've grown.
They want to hear about your experience.
Exactly. And it's your chance to really bring those bullet points on your resume to life.
Show them who you are, not just what you've done.
The source gives some really good examples of behavioral questions. One is, describe a product you launched. Who were the customers? What techniques did you use?
I like that one. It lets you showcase your strategic thinking, your creativity.
It's about telling a story, highlighting your strengths.
What makes you unique.
And then another one that stood out to me was, have you ever been part of a marketing campaign that didn't go as planned? What happened and what did you learn?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because let's be real, not every project is a smashing success, right?
It happened.
You got to be able to learn from those setbacks, figure out what went wrong.
It shows that you're not afraid to take risks, that you can adapt.
And that you're humble enough to admit when you've made a mistake.
Which is important, especially in a leadership role.
So beyond those specific questions, the source also talks about the importance of staying up to date with the latest trends in the field.
Makes sense.
Blogs, conferences, industry magazines, they all mention those.
Those are the classics.
And I'd add podcasts to that list too for people who like to learn on the go.
Oh yeah, podcasts are great for that.
And speaking of leadership, there's one more question from the source that I think is especially relevant for anyone in a managerial role.
What's that?
How do you ensure your team meets deadlines?
Ah, that's a big one.
Deadlines are crucial in this world. Everything's always moving and changing.
You got to be able to keep everyone on track.
It's about understanding your team's strengths, setting clear expectations.
And providing support, creating systems that help everyone succeed.
It's about leadership, not just management.
You know, this deep dive has really shown just how multifaceted this role is.
It's not just about being a marketing guru.
You got to be strategic, creative, analytical.
You got to understand the product, the customer, the whole game.
And this is just one perspective. Remember, there are so many other articles, books, podcasts out there.
A whole world of knowledge just waiting to be explored. But for now, let's zoom out a bit and think about the bigger picture.
Like what?
How is the role of product marketing evolving in today's world? And what does that mean for the products we use every single day? Welcome back. It's great to have you with us as we continue our deep dive into the world of product marketing manager interviews.
And as we wrap up, I think it's important to step back and look beyond those individual questions.
Right, to see the bigger picture.
Because those questions, they're not just random brain teasers, you know?
They reflect how the role itself is changing and adapting.
The way we interact with products is so different now than it was even just a few years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Social media, personalized experiences, the sheer amount of choice out there.
The whole new ballgame.
And that means product marketing managers need to be incredibly adaptable.
It's not just about broadcasting a message anymore.
You have to understand the nuances of each channel, craft the right experience for every single customer touch point.
Which is why those interview questions are digging into things like, how would you choose your advertising channels?
Or what does successful onboarding look like?
They want to see if you can think strategically about the entire customer journey.
Exactly. And it's not just about getting someone to buy the product once.
Right.
It's about building that ongoing relationship.
Fostering loyalty, turning customers into advocates.
The people who love your product so much, they tell their friends about it.
Makes me think of those brands that have such passionate fans.
They've created a whole community around their product.
More than just a product, it's an experience.
And that's something that more and more product marketing managers are focusing on.
How to build that sense of belonging and shared experience.
It's powerful stuff.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a little something for you to think about, dear listener. As you go about your day, pay attention to the products you use, the marketing you see, even those little tiny features in your apps.
The things you take for granted.
And ask yourself, what were the decisions behind those things?
What kind of experience were they trying to create?
What's working well and what could be better?
Developing that critical eye is so valuable.
You'll not only understand product marketing better, but you'll also be a more informed consumer.
A more aware observer of the world around you.
And who knows, maybe you'll even discover a passion for shaping those products that shape our lives.
Keep exploring, stay curious, never stop learning.
Your next aha moment might be just around the corner.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.